Yeah, funny thing, we go out to Kentucky and we come back first week and we're doing a Pennsylvania rye, but that's okay. Uh, Mark got a bottle of the Dad's Hat. So this is really interesting. I've never had this. It's really local, Bristol,
Yeah.
PA, right?
My neighbor's favorite. And I had it, and I went and I bought some.
Okay.
They spent 2 years to recreate this 200 or almost 250-year-old recipe with
Yeah.
the University of Michigan.
Okay.
They were out there and they've got it down. They use only local products for this. It's really good. Now this is only since it's in the bottle for only a minimal of 8 months, but they do have a 5-year-old bottled and bond and a 6-year-old straight rye whiskey, which I do want to get. If you try this, I think you'll see what I'm talking about. This has a little alcohol, but the nose and all, like you think you're back in old time, like it's going to remind you like an old time whiskey.
Well, I did wear my dad's hat just in honor of this. That's why I'm not wearing my cowboy hat tonight. So we got my dad's hat on, and we're gonna try some of this whiskey. Now, normally I don't mess around with underage whiskey. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
I'm a little skeptical.
I didn't know
about the 8 months.
I didn't know. I didn't know it was 8 months until I actually bought this bottle. I didn't really look at my neighbor's bottle.
Maybe they made a mistake and put months on there and was put years.
What's the price point on this, Mark?
It's only $35, right? What's that? I didn't bring my glasses to Dan. I left my book with all the information.
It says aged a minimum of 8 months
that's what
in new oak winter cask barrels. That's really where rye started in Pennsylvania and Maryland. And after the West opened up, a lot of the good whiskey makers made their way out to Tennessee, made their way out to Kentucky, and you had less and less of this Pennsylvania, Maryland rye, and then the prohibition really took a big shot after that, and that's where they really didn't have these companies anymore. The ones out in Kentucky, Tennessee stayed alive with medicinal stuff. The companies in Pennsylvania and Maryland really didn't. But Dad's Hat is my understanding of trying to bring back this Pennsylvania style rye. Enough talk. Let's give this a try.
I was wondering. I was getting thirsty.
Keep in mind it's what it is, but I think it's pretty good for what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's age isn't really on our list of things that we're critiquing on. Of a price point is so. I would. Usually when I see something under 2 years, it's usually like in that $20 range. So the fact that this is more closer to 30, right? 30 something.
Yeah, 35, 37, I see.
Yeah, I mean, at that age, I'm not really thrilled with that price point. I think it probably should be lower. But again, we're talking about a small distillery that always seems to have to charge a little bit more because of what they're producing in such a small scale.
Yeah, the nose.
Ooh, yeah, go ahead, Mark.
I was just gonna say the nose is kind of like you just smell like rye bread kind of.
I was gonna say hay.
Hay, yeah.
Yeah, but it's
like a bready kind of like bready.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Like I've been in
earthy.
A barn loft.
It's got a very earthy type of smell. It's like hay, grassy. It definitely it's.
It smells potato and it's a
little sour. It does. It smells like a rye field. It smells like you're out there and you're picking it. You know what I mean? And that's kind of
what I'm saying about
got some pretty good legs on it.
This is gonna make you be like thinking like old time stuff because they didn't finish it anyway. It's just this is what it is. Boom. It's rye whiskey.
Yeah, unapologetic.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's the way it's supposed to be.
And it goes right into what an oak cask. They just sit there for 8 months.
That's right. So I was looking at the mash bill on this. I don't know if you got that.
I had it. I left my book at home.
Okay. Well, good thing I'm here to bail you out, Mark. So it's 80% rye. It's a 15%, I believe they said, barley malt and 5% rye malt. So there you go with the mash bill. Who's got an impression on this?
Oh, it's not as spicy as that is.
That's what I thought. For 8 months, I was like, "Oh, this is going to be as spicy."
Yeah.
It's surprisingly.
That's what I'm saying, though. Don't let the age, fool you with this
Yeah.
one.
It's the same type of notes on the palate I had on the nose. It's that hay, grass, earthy, herbal, taste to it, a little tea. It's not real sweet.
Oh, no, not sweet at all.
What do you got to say down there, Brian?
Again, we talked about the color. I mean, it's surprisingly great months, how dark it is. Very impressive. Like I said, I get the smell that I get. I almost get that fermented hay kind of smell.
Yeah.
That you get in a barn.
Mm-hmm.
I taste it, and then when I taste it, to me, I almost get like this. At first, a tiny bit like this little sour thing
Okay.
comes to my taste, and then it goes down smooth, and then I taste the smoke afterwards. But you guys have more refined palates.
Now that you mention it, Brian, with your refined palate, I do get a little like lemon. It's got a nice herbal flavor. It's got a nice herbal palate. I mean, if I poured a glass of tea and this is what it tasted like, I'd be pretty happy, to be honest with you. There's a lot to like here. It's a Dad's Hat, Pennsylvania Rye Whiskey, the throwback. This is supposed to be what whiskey was, as long ago as 1791, I guess. Price point, is $35, says Mark. That is, not expensive, but for 8 months, it's not cheap. So I'm a little, torn on that. Nose, we talked about it. It's hay, it's rye, it's grassy. It's pleasant. I mean, it's I don't love it, but I mean, it's interesting. It's different, and it doesn't put me off at all. On the palate, like I said, it's very herbal. It's got a very herbal quality to it. It would be a very tasty cup of tea. I'm getting a lot of. I mean, the more I drink it, the more lemon I taste in there, and it's got that sour lemon, but it's got a nice
Jasmine tea.
Yeah, like a jasmine. It's got a little minty in there, like a green tea almost. Minty flavor that's balancing that sour note out. And on the finish again, a little bit of ethanol, but I'm getting a pleasing rye taste. So overall, I mean, there's a lot to like here. It's got some aging to do. It's too young, but they're legitimately bottling this and selling it $35. I'm not put off by that. I'm going to give this a 5.5.
And I think this kind of has, you get a little bit of rye, you get to smell the hay and all that inside of it. But I think at the end, it almost tastes the same like this, it's not sweet. I'm saying just like the back end of the.
Well, that's a compliment.
Yeah. So I think it's a decent bottle. I wish it was a higher proof. I mean, it's missing something. It's not 100%.
It's missing about 3 or 4 years.
Okay, I'll give it that. Okay.
Further mellowed.
But I still want to know why it's so brown. Okay, well, I don't be messing with you guys, Dad's Hat. So, I'm going to give it a 5. I'm going to say the price range is way too high for a EU. So I'm going to go a little bit lower.
I
I'm
think
going to say
that's
5.
actually fair, but I mean, with a small batch of distillery, you really can't expect anything cheaper than that. We'll go, I guess, to just Mark.
Right. Yeah, I mean, what you guys said is all hell. I'm feeling the same, the earthy, the hay, the grass, the finish. I'm really getting the mint more now that I've been taking a few more sips.
Yeah.
Yeah, the price point for it is a little on the high side, I would say. I'm gonna go with like a 5.5 also. I think it's a little better than a 5, but
Oh, forget there is 1s, 2s, 3s, and
Yeah.
4s.
yeah.
You can come up with anything.
Yeah,
We've
but,
had some crazy
Yeah,
numbers.
no, it's like right around there. Compared to the other ones that we had at 6 and all, this is
Yeah.
a little,
A peg below.
yeah.
All right.
I'm going with his. He's going to be a 5.49.
Yeah, Brian likes to change it up. What do you say, Brian?
So, like I said, I like the color. When I first smelled it, it's pretty strong smell. It really, it hit me. I was like, whoa, I wasn't ready for that. As far as, when I taste it, I get a little sour taste because I noticed my jaw, it actually would feel it here. I like clench my jaw a little. It's odd. I did get the floral taste, like a jasmine tea or some type of
I thought you were having a stroke
Tea or
over there.
something.
It was just the tanginess.
And I drank a lot of cheap bourbon for 40 years, so I always do a
Now
piece
that
of
I
ice in it.
believe.
Do a piece of ice in it because
Yeah.
it was junk and I needed to cool it off. This, I don't need any ice. It's that smooth
Yeah.
that I don't mind it neat, really. And
No, I don't feel like I need a cube.
I like
Sure,
ryes,
yeah.
so this is one of the better ryes that I've just had recently because I just got into this rye
Yeah, fair
as
enough.
far as tasting. So I'm going to go a little higher than you guys, like a 5.8.
All right.
5.8.
We'll do the official computations, and of course we'll put it up on the screen. But I mean, it's not a bad pour. I think that if you got a chance to grab a bottle, maybe that's a little bit older, maybe a little bit higher proof, give it a shot. I mean, there is definitely they're onto something here. Just think it needs a little bit more time aging. If I could say this, I mean, it's the best 8-month-old whiskey I've ever had.
Yeah.
But I haven't had a lot of 8-month-old whiskeys. But it is good for. I mean, that age statement is a little shocking, and
Yeah.
the fact that it is perfectly acceptable neat at that age is pretty impressive.
Yeah, they're doing something
So
right.
they're definitely doing something right. So that's going to do it here from Gopher's Corner. Good to be back in New Jersey with some Pennsylvania whiskey.
I'd rather be in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. We'll see you next time.